January 16, 1919, Congress agreed to ratify the 18th Amendment, which put a ban on selling, manufacturing, and transporting alcohol in the United States. This was referred to as Prohibition. In the following year, January 16, 1920, the amendment would take effect. The National Prohibition Act, or more popularly known as the Volstead Act, was brought to attention shortly after the passing of the 18th Amendment in hopes to give law enforcement better guidelines to stopping illegal actions involving alcohol. The problem was that the 18th Amendment only stated intoxicating liquor would be illegal to sell, manufacture, and transport. But no one gave an exact definition to what intoxicating liquor was. This is what the Volstead Act changed, and in doing so, it defined intoxicating liquor to be any alcoholic beverage with 0.5% alcohol by volume or higher would be considered illegal. It also broadened and clarified the scale of what was considered illegal actions with alcohol, such as transport, sale, barter, trade, manufacture, delivery processing, and processing alcohol would now all be illegal. Woodrow Wilson, the current president at the time, tried to veto the Volstead Act, though he was overruled by Congress.
Prohibition was favored by many women and many rural Protestants who created the Anti-Saloon League. The Anti-Saloon League has members from both political parties who strongly believed in the ban of consumption of alcohol. The Anti-Saloon League played a major impact on the ban of alcoholic beverages in the United States. The members of this league believed that the abuse of the consumption of alcohol led to destruction of families, problems in the workforce, and immoral actions in society, or crime. Also, many Prohibition supporters believed that alcohol was damaging not only the financial state of families, but also the economy as a whole.
While women are mentioned as being one of the strong supporters of the Volstead Act, their actions are why some men supported it with them. Many women would not kiss their husbands or boyfriends if they were drinkers. Many women that did this were part of the Women's Christian Temperance Union, also known as WCTU. These women would protest by prudence and many other actions, even laying outside saloons where they would be blocking the doors so that men could not get in. The WCTU was created long before there was even talk of the Volstead Act.
So began the Great Prohibition era, brought on in part by a decades-old grassroots temperance campaign organized largely by women that had already succeeded in banning liquor in 25 states. Now the entire country would go dry.
While the argument in favor of prohibition can be viewed as being quite sensible, the argument against prohibition may upstage it. While prohibition was designed to improve the economy, it actually hindered any room for improvement. Most companies that had anything to do with producing, transporting, or selling alcohol were forced to close down, which led to higher unemployment numbers. While many were unemployed, they became bored, which led to higher amounts of illegal production and consumption of alcohol. Many of the unemployed got caught up in other various crimes, which caused an overpopulation in prisons and created more expenses for the government, leading to higher taxes and more debt. While prohibition caused for closures of businesses and the rise of unemployment, there were still ways money could be made. Unfortunately, not legally. A speakeasy was a way that some supported their families. Speakeasies were bars that served alcohol during prohibition. Many times, speakeasies would be a cigar shop, drugstore, restaurant, or even a grocery store in the front, and an alcoholic's paradise in the back. Speakeasies were a place of gathering for many people in a neighborhood. They enjoyed each other's company, live music, and alcohol, of course. Almost every town had a speakeasy, and more often than not, law enforcement officials knew where they were, because they planned on spending time and money there in the evenings. The end of Prohibition was brought about after the majority of the population felt that banning alcohol wasn't right and held them from something that they wanted. This reached a tipping point along with the crime uprise and black market of alcohol. The end of Prohibition was also thought to be a good idea during the time when the country was in an economic struggle after the 1929 stock market crash. The current president, Franklin D. Roosevelt, even said that, right now, we need a beer. The 21st Amendment was proposed on February 20th, 1933, and after a 3/4 vote, Franklin Roosevelt signed the amendment on December 5th, 1933, ending Prohibition.